Welcome to this chapter on Huruf al-Jar. So in Arabic there are 17 Huruf al-Jar. And again, as I said, whenever we encounter something new in Nahu, there are two things that we have to study about it. The first thing would be the operation, that is its amal or its operation that it does. And then the second thing would be the different meanings that it produces. So now looking at the operation of Huruf al-Jar, their operation is that they make the ism majroor. So all of these Huruf al-Jar, they are added to an ism and they make the ism majroor. So again, there are only two things in Arabic that are majroor. So if you guys remember from the table that we saw in some of the previous lessons regarding the different things that are marfu and the different things that are mansub. So there are only two things that are majroor in Arabic. The first is anything that has a harf al jar on it, and then the second thing is muzaf ilayh. So yeah, so these huruf al jar they are added to isms and then they make that ism majroor, and these are the 17 huruf al jars that you can find in the Arabic language. Again, we will speak each of these and look at them separately and then look at some of the examples for them. So for now, these are added to an ism and then the ism becomes majroor. So here is an example. So here we have a huruf al jar which is fi being added to the ism, to an ism. So it was originally al bahru. So when you add fi, it becomes fil bahri. So al bahru becomes al bahri because we have a huruf al jar on it. So this becomes majroor. And again, this whole thing, it is called a shibhu jumla or a pseudo sentence because they cannot on their own they cannot exist, right? So for example, if I say fil bahri, that is in the sea, then it doesn't give you a complete meaning, right? So it doesn't give you a complete sentence. So if you say fil bahri, what about it? So what is in, so you have to say something. For example, you have to say as-samaku fil bahri, that is the fish is in the sea or something like that. So always this jar and its majroor, they have to be mutallaq with something, or they have to be associated with something, with an ism or with a fail. So these can on their own they can never exist. So that is why this is called a shubhu jumla or a pseudo sentence. So here I have some examples. So katabtu bi qalamin. So kataba yaktubu means to write, and katabtu meaning I wrote. And what did I wrote with? I wrote with a pen. So bi qalamin. So here ba is hurf jar, and this was originally qalamun. Now qalamun, because we add hurf jar on it, it becomes bi qalamin. So we have the jar which is hurf jar ba, and then the majroor which is this ism qalamin, and jar and majroor, this becomes a shibhu jumla or a pseudo sentence, and then they are, in this case, they are mutallaq with the verb which is kataba. So then you would say katabtu bi qalamin. So that is why we say this thing, this jar and majroor, or the shibhu jumla or the pseudo sentence, it can never exist on its own. They always have to be associated with an ism or a verb. So yeah, so that's that. So this is one example. The next example here is as-samaku fil bahri. So as-samaku meaning the fish, fil bahri meaning in the sea. So the fish is in the sea. So before we proceed, there is something important that I would like to highlight here, and that is every verb in Arabic has a particular set of prepositions or a particular set of the huruf al-jar, from the huruf al-jar, that are used with that verb to give a certain meaning. And so every verb has its own specific set of huruf al-jars that are used with that verb. They are called the sila of those verbs. And again, these are all observed. So this is what the people or the linguists have observed. The ancient Arabs do or use these, like, so they observe that, for example, if a verb is there, it would have a particular set of prepositions that are used with that verb to give different meanings. Again, in the next few slides we'll look at some examples of that, but again I wanted to highlight that. And also, this is not something which is uncommon. This is something you can even find in the English language. So for example, if you look at these two sentences, the first sentence says that I want you to look after my cat in my absence. Okay, and then in the next sentence I say I want you to take care for my cat in my absence. So here, look, with the verb look, we use look after, and when we use care, we say care for. right? So we don't say care after, and we don't say look for. I mean, you can say look for, but with care you have to use care for. So even in English that is the case. So so particular verb or group or every verbs, they have certain prepositions that go along with that verb. And so we, how do we learn that? We learn that by reading the books and reading the literature, and just by observing. So yeah, that is also the case in Arabic. So here I have the verb da'a. Da'a means to pray or to call. All right, and then now with this da'a, I have these four huruf jar or prepositions that go with this verb, and so each of them kind of produces a different meaning. So for example, if you use the huruf jar la with da'a, then in that case it would give the meaning of to pray for. So for example, if someone says, or if I say da'a Khalidun li Zaidin, the meaning of that would be Khalid prayed for Zaid. So here I am using the verb, the preposition or the huruf jar la or li. So now in that case, li along with da gives the meaning of to pray for. Now again, if I use da with the huruf jar ala, then it becomes to curse for. So it would be the opposite of to pray for. That is to curse for someone or to curse upon someone. So now if someone says, or if I say da'a Khalidun ala Zaidin, then the meaning of that would be Khalid cursed Zaid. So that is the difference. So here la give the meaning, da along with li along with da give the meaning of to gave the meaning of to pray for, whereas ala with da gives the meaning of to curse for, or both of these give opposite meanings. Next, if you use da along with ila, it would be to call towards. It would give the meaning of to call towards. So if someone says da'a Khalidun ilallah, meaning Khalid called towards Allah, or Khalid is a da'i, so he is calling people towards Allah. So da'a Khalidun ilallah, Khalid called towards Allah. Now if you use similar da'a with ba, with the huruf al jar ba, in that case it would give the meaning of to demand someone. So for example, if I say da'a Khalidun bi Zaidin, meaning Khalid demanded the presence of Zaid. So maybe Khalid asked or requested Zaid to be present, to come to him. So in that case you would say da'a Khalidun bi Zaidin. So in this case, or in this example, you can see that a verb which is da has these particular set of prepositions that go with it, and all of them produce a different meaning. Again, as I said, you can even find these examples in English language as well. So this is not something that is uncommon. You can find the same examples in a lot of other languages as well. But there's some, so this is something important that I wanted to highlight, that whenever you learn a new verb in Arabic, it is good to learn some of the common prepositions that are used with that verb as well. So in the previous slide, we saw that every verb in Arabic has its particular set of prepositions that give you a different meaning, that are used to produce different meanings. So from that we can derive, or we can understand that these huruf jar, they do not have a specific meaning. The meaning of that would actually depend on the verb along with it is used. So that is the so that's why their meanings are not confined to a certain set of meanings. So the meaning could differ based on the verb along which it is used. But then there are some of the most commonly used meanings that they are used for. So for example, ila is in most of the cases used to give the meaning of to, till, or towards. So in this slide and in the next few slides, we will look at the most commonly used meanings of all of these huruf jar or the prepositions. So now let us start with ila. So ila is used to give the meaning of to, till, or towards. Again, it could also be used to give other meanings based on the verb that it is used with, but this is the most common use, or this is the most abundant use. So now let us look at the example. So the first example says, "Waya qawmi, mali ad'ukum ilan naja, wa tad'unani ilan nar." So the example says that, "Waya qawmi," and oh my people, mali, why is that? Mali ad'ukum ilan naja, why is it that I call you ilan naja, towards success? Wa tad'unani, and you call me ila nar, to the hellfire or towards the hellfire. So here ila is used to give the meaning of towards or to, and here it is towards a place. Here also it is no, here it is towards a place. Here it is towards success. So here ila is used to give the meaning of to and towards a place. Now let us look at the next example, which says وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا رَبَّهُمْ إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ زُمَرًا. That is وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا رَبَّهُمْ, that is the ones who fear their Lord will be driven ilal jannati, towards al jannah, zumara, in groups. So here again ila is used to give the meaning of to or towards, and here also it is a place, that is al jannah. The next example says that summa atimmu siyama ilal layl, that is then complete the fasting ilal layl, till the night or till the start of night. So here again ila is used for to give the meaning of to or till, and here it is time, that is the night. So yeah, that's ila. Now let us look at ba. Now ba is used to either give the meaning of with or at, or it is also used to swear by someone or to take a promise by someone or something. So let us look at the examples. The first example says that khudu ma atainakum biquwwatin wasma'u, that is grab on, ma atainakum, that which we gave you, biquwwatin, with strength, wasma'u, and listen. So here biquwwatin, that is with strength. So ba is used to give the meaning of with. The next example is walaqad nasarakumullahu bibadrin, that is indeed Allah helped you at Badr. So here ba is used to give the meaning of to give the meaning of at. Next we have qala fabi'izzatika la'ughwiyannahum ajma'in, that is he said, that is the shaitan said, fabi'izzatika, that is by your might. So now he is swearing by the might of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he says qala fabi'izzatika la'ughwiyannahum ajma'in, that is by your might I will definitely lead them all astray. So here bi'izzatika is meaning by your might, that is it is used to swear by the might of Allah. Next we have ta. Ta is also used to swear or promise, but in case of ta, it is only used to swear or promise by either Allah or Ar-Rab. That is it. So other than these two, ta is not used to promise by anything else. So for example, we have qalat Allah in kitta laturdin. So that is, he said, Tallahi in kitta laturdin, by Allah you almost ruin me. So here tallahi, here ta is used to promise by Allah. So again ta will only be used again in 99% of the times it will be used as promise with Allah and our Rabb. That is it. Next we have hasha. So hasha is used for three meanings, or it gives three different meanings. The first use would be for istithna. Istithna meaning to create exception. And then the second meaning or second use would be to declare or to set someone free of any flaw. Then the final use would be to warn against something. So now let us look at the examples to understand it. So in the first example that I have, it says ja al qawmu hasha zaidin. So here hasha is used for istithna. So the meaning of this would be ja al qawmu, that is the people came, hasha zaidin, except zaid. So here again hasha is used for istithna or exception. In the second example, we have a verse from the Quran which says hasha lillahi ma hadha bashara. So hasha lillahi meaning Allah. So here hasha is used to declare or set someone to set free of any flaw. Meaning hasha lillahi meaning perfect is Allah or Allah is flawless. Again this is used as an exclamation. So you would say this. So usually this would be said when someone is surprised by something. So they would say hasha lillahi ma hada bashara. So this is again from Surah Al-Yusuf. So when again if you so again I don't want to go into the detail, but then so this is when the women of Egypt, they saw the beauty of Yusuf alayhi salam. They said this, they said hasha lillahi ma hada bashara, that is perfect is Allah, this is no man, or this is not a human being. And then the next final example is where hasha is used to warn. So the example says that hasha laka an taf'al kada. So the meaning of this would be that is beware that you do something like this. So hasha laka, here it is being used to warn someone. In this case, it is being used to warn the second person, that is you. So beware or be careful, an taf'al kada, that you do something like this. Next we have hatta. Now hatta can either be a harful jar, or it could either be used as a harf for ataf. Again we will study what huruf for ataf are, but then in this case here we will only concentrate on hurfal jars. So again, so whenever hatta is used as hurfal jar, it would mostly give the meaning of till or until. Sometimes it also gives the meaning of even, but the first two meanings are most common when it is used as hurfal jar. So let us look at an example for that. The example here is Salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr, meaning peace it is hatta until matla'il fajr, until the emergence of dawn. So here hatta is used in the meaning of it, or it gives the meaning of until. Next we have khala and ada. Again khala and ada, these are mostly used for istisna or exception, or to create exception. So the examples that I have here are ja al qawmu khala zaidin, meaning the people came except Zaid, or ja al qawmu ada zaidin, that is the people came except Zaid. So it gives the same meaning, that is the meaning of exception. So now if if you observe, the ism is majroor because this is hurfal jars, both of these are hurfal jars. So the ism that it is added on, it becomes zaidin. So zaidun became zaidin because of that. Then we have rubba. Now this is used to describe both abundance or scarcity of something. So for example, here the example that I have here, it says rubba rajulin karimin laqituhu, that is many generous men have I met. So again this is again used as an astonishment or maybe surprise or exclamation. So in this case, the meaning of Rubba Rajulin Karimin Laqitu, meaning many generous men I have met. So this is, someone would say this as a statement of pride or something like that. Now sometimes what happens is, to Rubba we add ma, so it becomes Rubbama. Now the meaning of Rubbama is, there are two main meanings of Rubbama. One would be it would be the meaning of maybe or perhaps or probably. So something similar to that. So that is one of the very common meanings of Rubbama, that is maybe, perhaps or probably. Another meaning is again and again or often. So again and again, often, or at times. uh, so this would be another meaning of rubama. So it would be either used to in the meaning of maybe or perhaps or probably or at times. So that is one meaning, and then the second meaning would be again and again, repeatedly or often. So here I have an example from the Quran where rubama is used. It says rubama yawaddu alladhina kafaru law kanu muslimin, that is uh, again and again, or perhaps alladhina kafaru, that is those who disbelieve. uh, Yawaddul ladina kafaru, that is they will wish, those who disbelieve will wish, what will they wish? Law kanu muslimin, that they were Muslim. So in the akhirah, this is what will happen, that is they will wish that perhaps they were Muslim, or again and again they will wish. Next I have ala. Now ala gives the meaning of either over, upon, or on. So the example of ala that I have here is wa alayha wa alal fulki tuhmalun, that is upon it, that is the cattle, and upon the ships are you carried, or you are carried. So ala here gives the meaning of up, upon, or over. Next I have an. Now an gives the meaning of from, and it also gives the meaning of about. So again these are the most commonly used meanings. There could be other meanings as well depending upon the verb that with along with it is used. So anyways, so the example for an is وَهُوَ الَّذِي يَقْبَلُ التَّوْبَةَ عَنْ عِبَادِهِ. So that is وَهُوَ الَّذِي, he is the one, يَقْبَلُ التَّوْبَةَ, who accepts the repentance, عَنْ عِبَادِهِ, from his slaves. So an here is used to give the meaning of from. Next we have يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَنْفَالِ, that is they ask you about the spoils of war. So an here gives the meaning of about. Next we have fi. Fi now it gives the meaning of either in, at, upon, or because of, or due to. So let us look at the examples. The first example is fi qulubihim marazun, that is in their hearts is disease. So fi here gives the meaning of in. So fi qulubihim, that is in their hearts. Fi qulubihim, that is in their hearts, marazun, or disease. Next we have lamassakum. Lamassakum fi ma afastum fihi adabun azim, that is a great punishment would have touched you. So lamassakum fi ma afastum fihi adabun azim. And why? Because of what you had spoken. So here fi is used to give the meaning of because of. Next we have wala usallibannakum fi juz'in nakhli. So here fi juz'in nakhli, so an-nakhl meaning the date palm trees. So juz'in nakhli meaning the date palm trees. So and sallaba yusallibu means to crucify. So here the verse says that wala usallibannakum, that we will crucify you, fi juz'in nakhli, that is upon the or uh, on the date palm trees. So here fi is gives the meaning of upon or on. Next we have ka. Ka is very simple. Ka is used to give the meaning of to describe likeness of someone or something towards something else. So it gives the meaning of as or like. So for example we have mathaluhum kamathalil ladhi istawqada nara, that is their example is like the example of alladhi istawqada nara, that is the one who kindles fire. So here ka is used to give the meaning of as or like. So mathaluhum, that is their example is kamathalil ladhi istawqada nara, is like the example of the one who kindles fire. So ka here gives the meaning of like or as. Next we have li, which gives the meaning of for. So the most simple example is alhamdulillah, that is all praise is for Allah. Next we have min. Min again gives the meaning of from. So the example here is hada min indillah, hada min indillah, that is this is from Allah. So min gives the meaning of from here. Next we have mud and mundu. Now these give the meaning of since, and most of the time they give the meaning of since. So now whenever the majroor is marifa and the tense is past tense, in that case it gives the meaning of since or from. But if the majroor is in the present tense, then it gives the meaning of in. So let us look at the examples to understand. So the first example is ma ra'aytuhu mud or mundu yawmil jumu'ati. So meaning ra'a means to see. So ma ra'aytuhu, that is I did not see him, mundu mud or mundu yawmil jumu'ati, I did not see him since the day of Friday or since Friday. So I did not see him since Friday. So here it gives the meaning of since, because Yomul Jumati is in the past tense, or that is something which has passed. Now let us look at this example which says Ma ra'aytuhu mud or mundu yawmina or yawmina or shahrina, meaning I did not see him. Yawmina meaning this day of ours, and shahrina meaning this month of ours. So now this is the present tense. So in this case it gives a meaning of in. So the meaning of ma ra'aytuhu mud aw mundu yawmina aw shahrina would be I did not see him in this day of ours or in this month of ours. Next we have va. Now va as a hurfal jar is used to swear, or again to take a swear by someone, or to oath, or to take an oath, or to promise by someone, just like ta and ba. Again, but with ta we said that it is only used to promise by the name of Allah or Ar-Rabb, whereas ba can be used with something with other things as well. Also wow can also be used with other things, so can also be used to promise. So the example here that I have here is washamsi wazuhaha, that is by sun and by its brightness. So here va is used to promise. So here it is used to promise by shams, that is the sun, wa zuhaha, that is the brightness of it. So here it is used to promise by two things. So yeah, and then we have other uses of va as well, but they are not when vow is used as harfal jar. Most of the time it is used as to promise.